What's up, guys? Coming to you today with a full slate of NBA and college basketball action here on Friday, January 16th. I'll give you my favorite picks on the side and over-under on each game. We're going to break down the biggest college basketball games of the night. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock. So as a big thank you to me, take that 10th of a second and slam that like button. It really helps get the videos promoted out there on YouTube and is a big part of keeping me motivated to bring out a new video every single solitary day. Also take a second, check below and see if you're subscribed to the channel. That'll keep you from missing these videos. And like I said, I'm uploading every single day. So yeah, let's make the channel grow. Seeing it grow makes a big difference. You can also probably see a little bit of hair on my hat. You can also see the source of that hair is right there. Make sure you're getting down in the comments and let us know anything you want to say about these videos, about me, about anything you see here. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I love to answer questions about other people's picks that they're putting out or what they're thinking about out there. Any plays you have questions about across the sports world, I'm more than happy to get down in those comments. I'm in the comments every single solitary day, guys. I can guarantee you I at least read, if not read, an answer to every single comment I get. Speaking of comments, you want to check the pinned comment throughout the day. That's the top comment under the video. That's where I put my favorite picks every single day, my absolute favorite plays. They go in that pinned comment. And make sure you check back a couple times throughout the day just in case they get updated. Injury news can come out late. We had to switch out a play just the other day because there was some very late breaking news on that Lauri Markkanen illness. So definitely be checking the pinned comment. In terms of a recap there for Thursday, things went pretty well for us right out of the gates. We cashed the Celtics -2.5. It was a competitive 119-114 win there for Boston. It was a monster game from Anthony Simons that put him over the top and a much more normal shooting night there from the Heat overall. A big edge on the boards for Boston helped him out quite a bit. We also cashed the Thunder at -3.5. It was a comfortable 111-91 win there for OKC. Chet and SGA played well. AJ Mitchell was a monster off the bench, and when the Thunder shoot anywhere close to 40% from three, they do look pretty unbeatable. On the college basketball side, we cashed Oakland at -2.5. That was a 73-60 win there for Oakland as Milwaukee just didn't come out ready to go there in the first half. Never made the comeback that they needed. Oakland kept the pedal to the metal, and they get us a nice little winning cover. We also were on the right side there in that Green Bay -2.5 game. It was a very comfortable 88-73 win for Green Bay as they go nuts in the second half, overcome Wells, putting up 35 points against them and get a comfortable win and cover. We still have Washington State +17.5 live right now here at time of recording. We'll see if they're able to, claw a little bit closer, maybe some garbage time points here, but it's looking like that one's just barely going to miss and spoil our perfect day. But we also have the Warriors on the money line, and if Draymond Green can keep his head screwed on straight here at the end of the game, they should be in decent shape. They're up 8 points against a Knicks team that doesn't have their closer, like Jalen Brunson, not available for that game. So hope you guys jumped in on that one. Hopefully the Warriors close it out strong and we end up with a nice 5-1 day. But let's go ahead. Let's get after it. Let's dive in. We've got a bunch of college basketball. We've also got a solid little NBA slate here on a very interesting Friday. So let's get after it. Make sure you're slamming that thumbs up button. Make sure you're getting over to stumpthespread.com and checking out everything we offer over there. The premium picks look like they're going to go 7-1-1 tonight. So a big winning night over there for the premium members. Definitely want to hop on board with that. And you got to get over there and get on the free email list, all that kind of good stuff. Subscribe to the channel. Now that we've got all the housekeeping out of the way, let's dive in. The first game we're going to be looking at today here on the NBA side is going to be the New Orleans Pelicans as they go on the road to take on the Indiana Pacers. The Pelicans have been a bit of a mess this season. They're 10-33 overall. Yeah, they do get that win over the Nets their last time out, a nice 116-113 win, but man, was that a nail biter. Trey Murphy going nuts. He's playing amazing. Got to be one of the biggest trade targets out there if anybody has a package they could put together for him, or if New Orleans is even willing to consider trading him. Love what we're seeing from him. Zion's been fine, very efficient numbers, not necessarily enough to get this team a ton of wins. I mean, he put up 25 points in 30 minutes and was still a -17. Trey Murphy was a +15. Missy was great off the bench, like we saw from Bryce McGowan's off the bench as well. Sadiq Bey coming back definitely helps, but this team certainly lacks a lot of what they need to be a real competitor out there in the Western Conference. They come to this game still missing the same usual culprits. Herb Jones still dealing with that ankle issue. He's been ruled out for this game. Jose Alvarado dealing with that oblique issue. He's going to be out for a couple weeks. So we'll see who they can, see what they can do out there against the Pacers. Indiana had their little 3-game winning streak snapped there with a 115-101 loss there against the Raptors. I mean, they can only do so much. 30-piece there from Brandon Ingram against them. Scotty Barnes had a good night. Siakam continues to just put up very solid numbers, but aside from him, you can't really count on a ton on a nightly basis. Indiana only shot 29% from three in that game. That's not usually going to get the job done for them, and they had a little bit of a, they were a little bit down there on the board, so not a lot of good news for the Pacers in their last outing. They come into this one relatively healthy. Mathurin still 100% going to be sidelined for this game. Yeah, confirmed out with that thumb issue. Isaiah Jackson out, but other than that, they're as healthy as they've been. So the Pacers are 2.5-point favorites here at home. They have been decent at home. We got a total of 238.5. New Orleans is 8-10 against spread on the road, 6-3 against spread after win, 23-20 to the over. The Pacers are 13-10 against spread at home, 14-17 against spread after loss. They're 26-15 to the under. That's actually an NBA best to the under. So with a big total like this of 238.5, I am all about taking the under in this game. In terms of a side, maybe a slight lean towards the Pacers since they're playing at home, and we see New Orleans in a big letdown spot after a win, but I certainly like the under in this game more than I like any side. Next on the docket in our first ESPN game of the day, we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, the Cavaliers are 23-19 on the year, so have not had smooth sailing. They are coming off a win in game one of this little two-game set there in Philly. They won that win 133-107, a masterclass there from Cleveland. Everything going their way. They made 23s, went 20 of 46 from long range. That's 43%. They did a very good job on the glass and really just dominated this game. 17 points off the bench from DeAndre Hunter, who is apparently kind of demanding a trade out of Cleveland. So we'll see what impact that has on anything they're trying to do. But obviously, Garland and Mitchell playing great at the same time is a big, big deal for this squad. We'll see what they can do in this one. Obviously, staying on the road, staying there in Philly. Their injury report looks pretty problematic for this one, if I'm being honest. Still no Dean Wade. Darius Garland is going to miss this game dealing with a foot issue. Sam Merrill is also on the injury report. He is out for this game with a right hand sprain. So they will be without two of their best three-point shooters in this game. That is not ideal as they go to take on the 76ers. Now, Philadelphia, they're 22-17 on the year, honestly doing better than I expected, getting more Embiid games than I thought they would get, getting maybe worse production from Paul George, if I'm being 100% honest, but Maxi's hitting another level. VJ Edgecomb's been very, very good. The problem is nobody except for Embiid and Paul George were any good at all in game one of this little series. It looked really, really bad there. Embiid had 20. Maxey had one of his worst games of the season. 5 of 16 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3, only 14 points from him, 9 from VJ Edgecomb. They didn't even play these guys a ton of minutes because it was very clear which direction this game was going. Cleveland was up 33-18 at the end of the first quarter. So not a great look there. Definitely a bounce back situation for the 76ers. They obviously have lots of guys on the injury report, which they do basically every single game. So we'll break those down. Paul George, he's on there. He's probable due to left knee injury management. So it sounds like he will play. Embiid is probable due to left knee injury management as well. Sounds like he will play. And Dominic Barlow, guys, he's slotted into the starting lineup there. He's questionable for this game. We don't have an update on what's actually wrong with him. Oh, a back injury. Okay. So we'll see if Barlow's out there. But really, with Maxey and Edgecomb in big bounce back spots, we like the bench for this team a decent amount. And when Embiid's going to be out there, that's a nice little boost. So looking at the numbers, the 76ers are 1.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 234.5. Cleveland is 7-11 against spread on the road, 7-15 against the spread after a win, 22-20 to the under. The 76ers are only 9-11 against spread at home, but they are 12-4 against the spread after a loss this season. That is an NBA best against the spread mark coming off a loss. They're a slight over team. I'm not interested in the total in this game, but I am definitely taking the Philadelphia 76ers here. I think this is a great spot for Philly. I think they bounce back. You usually want to take the team to bounce back after they have, a bad game in game one of these little two-game series. I think we see very, very solid stuff from Embiid and in Maxey in a huge bounce back spot. Also look at some Maxey player props. Could be a very good idea in this one. Hey guys, before we jump in and break down the Chicago Bulls heading to Brooklyn to take on the Nets, we got to shout out the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to get over there and see the top confidence picks, our best picks every single day from our entire team of experienced cappers over there at Stump the Spread. And they went pretty freaking well yesterday, guys. One loss on the board in the entire day, and that was due to a tough loss there from Binghamton. They were hanging tough early. They ended up losing by just a few too many, end up not being able to get the cover for us, getting +8, but cashed Long Beach State -4.5, Bryant -1.5, Towson -1.5. The Maple Leafs had a big lead, so I'm assuming they're probably going to hold on and win that game. The Penguins cashed as a 2-unit play. There was that one push on that under in the Seattle-Boston hockey game. The Calgary Flames Chicago Blackhawks under did hit, and we also cashed the Celtics -2.5 as a 1-unit play. So a very, very nice day over there at StumpTheSpread.com. And also, guys, the college basketball picks have been absolutely on fire recently, putting up a 3-in-1 day over there on the premium side today on Thursday. So very, very good work and a very, very good time to jump in and become a premium member over there at StumpTheSpread.com. Those premium memberships can pay for themselves pretty freaking fast. The college basketball picks just keep on winning. You should be able to pay for your membership in a day or two two of nice little wins there on the college basketball side or any side or NHL or whatever's going on, because it's a great time to be in the mix with so many sports going on. So definitely get over there and sign up for a premium membership. Those picks over at stumpthespread.com usually are not going to match what you see from me here in the videos, as I'm not the premium handicapper over there at stumpthespread.com. Like I was saying, guys, there's a team of experts over there at Stump the Spread covering all these sports, and every single one of them has over a decade's worth of experience. So definitely make sure you're getting in the mix on those. There's also free picks over there at stumpthespread.com under the free picks tab every single solitary day. So make sure you're checking those out every single day. And you got to get on that free email newsletter, guys. Golf season just started, so tons of big write-offs coming out on the PGA Tour. Lots and lots of great information across the sports world. Obviously, there's the normal stuff like college basketball, NBA, hockey, football, you name it. Also tons of player props and touchdown props on the NFL side. Definitely want to make sure you're in the mix on that email list before Saturday and Sunday for those NFL games. But just a crazy amount of great information in those emails, and that comes straight from the premium handicappers too. So certainly want to make sure you're not missing out on that. And guys, it's really easy to sign up. You just go to stumpthespread.com however you want. There's a link in the description. You type it into your browser of choice, whatever. It'll all work. All works the same. Gets you to stumpthespread.com. You sign up for a free account. They're going to ask you for your name and your email address. That's it. You get one email straight to your inbox, packed with great sports betting information every single day. So definitely don't miss out on that. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, you can go to stumpthespread.com and purchase a Stump the Spread hoodie, or and they're at cost right now, so it's a great time to purchase one. It's free shipping, $40, yada yada yada. Also, you can just become a YouTube channel member, and for $5 a month, I think that's what it is. I actually don't know how much a YouTube channel membership costs, but for all of our YouTube channel members, we do a giveaway every single week. Every single Monday, we put the name of every single YouTube channel member on a big wheel. We spin that wheel live on the video on Mondays, and whoever it lands on gets a Stump the Spread hoodie of their size mailed straight to their address of choice. So definitely love doing those giveaways. Big shout out to all my channel members. Of course, you get your name up on screen and you get early access to the videos, but I really love doing those giveaways. So big shout out to all the channel members. Let's go ahead and dive back in. Make sure you've slammed that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and let's get after it. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Bulls heading to Brooklyn to take on the Nets. The Bulls are 19-21 on the season. They've had some very tough injury luck. They're coming off a 128-126 win there over the Jazz. Now, that looks okay, but that happened without Lauri Markkanen playing in that game, or Yusuf Nurkic. So that was very much not the full-strength Utah Jazz, and the Bulls could barely eke out the win. That being said, it's not the full-strength Bulls. Obviously, a massive game there from Vooch. He went nuts, had 35 points on very efficient shooting numbers, also 7 boards and 5 assists. He should be a potential trade target for a lot of teams out there, just saying. But overall, a good game there from Chicago. The big question for them is, when are they going to be healthy? When are we going to see Josh Giddey and Kobe White back out there? Well, sounds like Kobe White is going to be back out there for this game. He's not even on the injury report. Giddey is apparently starting to ramp up, progressing towards being ready to play, but there's no indication that he's actually going to be ready to play in this specific game. Other than that, they're relatively healthy. Kevin Huerter is on the injury report, still dealing with that hip issue. He is probable, so it sounds like he will be out there here as they head to Brooklyn to take on the Nets, who come into this game losers of, what is it up to now? 5 in a row. They've lost 8 out of their last 9. It's not looking great. A lot of trade talk was surrounding the Warriors and Michael Porter Jr., but apparently the Warriors have no interest in him, which pretty weird to me. They're coming off a 3-point loss there against the Pelicans. Michael Porter Jr. did not shoot the ball particularly well in that one. Drake Powell had 16. This team really, though, I don't know. Cam Thomas is putting up 16 points on 15 shots coming off the bench in 24 minutes. Like, the Nets are a team that's trying to tank, and they're pretty freaking good at it, and would be excellent at it if they could get Michael Porter Jr. out of town, or put him on the bench with some sort of fake injury. So we'll see what happens in this one. They're pretty healthy coming into this game. They're 1.5-point favorites. We've got a total here of 225.5. The Bulls are 9-10 against the spread on the road, 10-8 against the spread after a win, 22-18 to the under. Brooklyn is 9-11 against the spread at home, 13-12-1 against the spread after a loss, and they are a significant under team as well. So you could potentially talk me into under 225.5. It's not a massive number. I like the under very much more on that Pelicans-Pacers game, so that's probably not going to make the pinned comment. In terms of a side, I will lean just slightly towards the Nets in a bit of a bounce-back spot, but really no conviction and no interest in this game either way. Rolling right along, we've got the Los Angeles Clippers heading to Toronto to take on the Raptors. Now, the Clippers have looked like a different team here down the stretch. They've won their last 4 in a row, 5 of their last 6. They're coming off a comfortable win there over the Wizards, winning that one 119-105. A nice little cover there for any Clippers bettors. Kawhi Kawhi is just looking insane. They keep marking him as questionable every single night, which is really, really tilting, but apparently dealing with some nagging ankle injury, but he keeps on putting up the numbers, guys. He's looked really, really good. He had 33 in his last one. Harden had 22 and 8 assists. The bench is still not very good, but they're trying to sort of piece some things together, and every so often you just see some random dude go off the bench. So we'll see what happens. Zubac has also not been very healthy. Maybe that helps, maybe that doesn't, because they've been playing apparently better without him at a lot of points this season. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, the injury report is very key here for the Clippers. They come to this one with Kawhi, John Collins, and Zubac all on the injury report. So it looks like it's going to be a bit of a guessing game as usual. Kawhi, still questionable with that ankle issue, but has been playing through it, and there's really not a lot of reason to think he's had any sort of setback. So I do expect him to play in this game. John Collins dealing with a groin issue. He's questionable. He hasn't played since the 12th there against Charlotte. So we'll see if he's able to suit up and go. Sounds like it is a true questionable situation. Zubac questionable, dealing with what is he going on now? Was it an ankle again? Yeah, a left ankle sprain. Okay, so I would kind of guess no Zubac in this matchup, which sucks for him because he should be in for a good game there if he could play against the Raptors, who come into this one fresh off the win over the Pacers. They've been dealing with plenty of injuries and kind of a weird thing going on in Toronto right now. A lot of trade rumors swirling around this team, which can definitely have an impact, especially on some of these young players. Brandon Ingram seems unaffected. He put up a 30-piece there against the Pacers. Scotty Barnes played really, really well. Grady Dick, a Grady Dick sighting. He had 21 points despite going only 1 of 5 from 3. He played really, really well. They did a good job keeping things even on the boards, and they're just kind of overwhelmed, shorthanded, and probably short on motivation Pacers team. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Definitely some injuries to keep an eye on. Quickly, RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl all on the injury list. Quickly is the most important one. He's dealing with a back issue. He is questionable. We don't have a lot of clarity. I mean, he's dealing with back spasms, so those could clear up. Those could also, keep him basically crippled and completely unable to play. RJ Barrett dealing with an ankle issue, will not play in this game, and Jakob Poeltl still sitting out with that back. So looking at the numbers for this one, the Raptors are getting 1.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 216.5. The Clippers are 10-10 against spread on the road, 9-7 against spread after win, 21-19 to the under. Toronto is 9-13 against spread at home, 12-12 against spread after a win. They're 26-16 to the under. We have a very small number of 216.5 in this game. I don't think I can really justify getting super involved in the total. In terms of a side, this is also kind of a tough spot. I will be leaning here towards the Clippers under the impression that Kawhi and most of their players are going to play, but that can always be a little bit of a big ask, and the depth of Toronto does make me scared, so I'd be surprised to see this one make the pinned comment. Next on the docket, guys, on our second ESPN game of the night, we've got the Minnesota Timberwolves heading to Houston to take on the Rockets. Now, the Timberwolves are 27-14 on the year. They've won 6 out of their last 7 games, taking down the Bucks and the Spurs most recently. That game against the Spurs was about as close as it can get, but they waxed the Bucks, winning 139-106. That was not a competitive game. Randall had 29, Naz Reid had 19. Ant didn't even play in this game, and they just went nuts and won. Bones Highland had 23 off the bench. You love to see busy Bones getting after it and putting up some good numbers. Overall, a pretty good night, showing off some depth that we didn't know they had, and also shooting 52% from 3. You can't really count on that on a nightly basis. Rudy Gobert was suspended for that game due to too many flagrant fouls, so he wasn't even out there, and they just dominated, albeit a pretty bad Milwaukee Bucks team. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Anthony Edwards is going to be sidelined for this game, dealing with that foot issue. He is officially out. Rudy Gobert will be back, so they do have their defensive anchor back in there. We're going to see more Bones Highland minutes in this game. We'll see how that goes against a team like the Houston Rockets. Also going to need, a lot of production from guys like Randall and Naz Reid, and honestly, Jaden McDaniels too. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Rockets, who will be playing this game on no rest. They're coming off a 111-91 loss last night against the Oklahoma City Thunder. We were on the Thunder in that game, as I'm sure you guys remember. So slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed it, cashing the Thunder with us there yesterday. But the Rockets did not have their best game. KD had 19, but only played 20. What did he have? 19 and played 37 minutes. Oh, I didn't realize they were going to play him all his minutes. Wow. Oh, they played pretty heavy minutes, guys. 37 for KD, 34 for Jabari Parker Jr. Sengun played 33. Amin Townsend played 40 minutes. I mean, they played like they were trying to win this game, and it did not go well there in the fourth quarter. They got slammed in the fourth quarter and are now 0-2 against the Thunder this year. So we'll see We'll see what they can put together in this one. Obviously, we don't have a fully updated injury report here for Houston. I would kind of expect everybody to play, but that's a lot of minutes to play Kevin Durant and then have him turn around and play on a back-to-back. I mean, it's not like they had a crazy travel spot or anything like that. Like, they played at home and they're playing this game at home, so we'll see what they can put together. The injury report, like I said, not updated. I would be a little bit surprised to see Tari Eason play in this game. But it's not out of the realm of possibilities dealing with an ankle issue, so we'll see what happens there. The odds makers like the Rockets here. They're 3.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 224.5. Minnesota is 9-11 against spread on the road, 10-16 against spread after a win, 21-20 to the under. Houston, they're 6-8 against spread at home, 0-3 against the spread on no rest, 19-17-1 to the over. I'm not interested in the total in this game, guys, but in terms of a side, I am definitely going to be leaning towards the Timberwolves here at getting plus 3.5. I think that's a pretty good spot. Houston has not been good against the spread on no rest this season. I expect, especially guys like Kevin Durant, to potentially, he could even sit this game out. And without KD, their offense evaporates. So we'll see what happens. Gobert should be able to at least give some resistance there to Sengun. So I think this is a good matchup for the Timberwolves. I think they keep this one very, very close. In our last NBA game, before we hop over and break down the entire college basketball slate here on Friday, we've got the Washington Wizards heading to Sacramento to take on the Kings. The Wizards, they're pretty bad. They're 10-29 on the season. They made that big Trae Young trade, but then immediately reported that he's not going to be playing until after the All-Star break. So they're going to continue to tank it out. I wouldn't be totally shocked to see them make some more moves, but right now they've lost 4 in a row. They couldn't keep things competitive against the Clippers their last time out, and really this team just lacks guys. Like, they just lack everything. Not a ton of scoring, not a ton of creation. Kaishan George did have 23 points. Sarr only playing 13 minutes, having 4 points is not a great look. They need to be getting him experience, if nothing else. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on here down the stretch. But this team, I mean, they're tanking it out, and they're tanking pretty hard. Kualabe, Middleton, both probably, are they confirmed out for this game? Yes, they're confirmed out for this game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see guys like Middleton potentially gets traded. You would like to see Sarr get more minutes. I think there are some decent teams that could use some Marvin Bagley minutes potentially. I don't know. Maybe that's a crazy thing to say. So we'll see what they put together here on the road against the Sacramento Kings, who've suddenly won 3 straight games, taking on the Rockets, Lakers, and Knicks. This is the weird thing about the Kings. When you look at this team on paper, they shouldn't be that bad, especially in the regular season. In their 11-point win, they're over the Knicks. Very, very good work there pretty much across the board. Brunson did only play 5 minutes in that game going down with that injury, but Precious Achiuwa had 20 points in 39 minutes against his old team. 27 there from DeMar DeRozan, who I think a lot of contenders could definitely use. Levine had 25 on very, very efficient shooting numbers. The bench is terrible. The bench is really bad. Unless Malik Monk is having a good night, which he, 9 points in 19 minutes, but missing most of his shots is not a great night. But there's talent on this roster. I don't understand why they can't have more stretches like this. We'll see what they do here with the trade deadline approaching. They come into this game relatively healthy. Sabonis is actually getting put on the official injury list again. He, dealing with that knee issue, was a full participant during Thursday's practice. He could be cleared to play here Friday against the Wizards. That would be very, very interesting. I kind of thought we'd seen the last of Sabonis in a Kings uniform, expecting him to get traded. We'll see what happens, but this team definitely has plenty of talent. They're 6.5 point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 231.5. The Wizards are only 7-13 against spread on the road, 12-16 against spread after loss, 20-19 to the under. The Kings are 9-12 against spread at home, 5-5 against spread after win, 23-18 to the under themselves. I'm not going to take under in this game, although maybe under 231.5 does have some value. Much better than that, guys. And it makes me feel a little bit sick. We've been burned before by the Kings this season, but I will take the Sacramento Kings here at -6.5. I think it's worth it. I think it can make the pinned comment. Sabonis coming back and messing up what's going on right now makes me a little bit nervous, but we've got Malik Monk in a big bounce back spot. Schroeder rested coming off his suspension. I think we could see the bench actually be productive here, and the Wizards bench is terrible, and the Wizards are terrible in general, so seems like a good spot to back the Kings. Now, guys, hopping over to break down a very short but very, very interesting and action-packed day of college basketball here on Friday, January 16th. Right out of the gates, we've got a decent game. We've got the Creighton Blue Jays going on the road to take the Providence Friars out there in the Big East. Now, Creighton is not up to the standards that we've seen from them in past seasons. They're 11-7 overall, 5-2 in conference play, though. They're coming off a nice win there over Georgetown, albeit a nail-biter, an 86-83 game that could have went either way. Creighton does end up pulling it out, though, and them pulling out a game at home does make a ton of sense. They have notoriously a great home court advantage. Austin Swartz was a monster, 33 points from him, 8 of 12 from 3. He was on an absolute burner in that game. The bench actually looked okay. Only 3 double-digit scores on the entire squad, though, and it taking them overtime to beat Georgetown. isn't exactly a huge confidence boost for me in what we've seen from Creighton this year. They haven't done great in their step-up games. They lost to Seton Hall. They lost to St. John's. They did beat Villanova, but that was a very, very close one. They played Nebraska and got destroyed earlier this season. They got destroyed by Iowa State, lost to Baylor as well, and got destroyed by Gonzaga. So we'll see what they can put together in this one. Their rebounding numbers are not great. Their defensive numbers are not amazing. They usually lack a go-to leading scorer, and obviously, this is kind of the letdown spot of the century for that kid that made all the shots. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Providence Friars, who are 8-9 on the season. They're 1-5 in conference play. They have had some wins over the course of the year. They've lost some heartbreakers, though. That 113-110 loss at Butler, a very competitive game against Seton Hall that could have went either direction. They did win at St. John's, played a crazy, amazing game there against number 4 UConn, and eventually ended up losing by 5, 103 to 98. Losing to Xavier, though, that's not a great look. And their last game was an 88-82 loss against Villanova. So a lot of things to work on, obviously, for Providence. They're not a terrible team. In that loss to Villanova, they did shoot 32% from 3, which isn't awful, but they got kind of crushed on the boards and wasted, Jones and Sellers both putting up very good nights. This team also doesn't have a great bench, so yeah, not a lot of amazing news for Providence. I mean, Jason Edwards putting up 17 points per game is good. They're 19th in the nation total offense, but they play very little defense, and the rebounding isn't great either. So, look at the numbers. Providence is getting 1.5 here at home. We've got a total of 162.5. Creighton is 8-10 against the spread this year. They're 11-7 to the under. Providence is 9-8 against the spread. They are 12-5 to the over. Playing at home here, I will take Providence here. Getting a little bit of points, or you can take them as a pick-em or a money line play or whatever. I do think Providence is the side you want. I just don't trust Creighton on the road so much. No look-ahead spot here for Providence. They've got Marquette on deck. Creighton has Xavier on deck, so not really a look-ahead spot for either team, but I will take Providence here playing at home. Next up, guys, we're headed out to the MAC for a very interesting game here. We've got Toledo going on the road to take on Kent State. Now, both these teams have been pretty solid in conference play. Each of them is 4-1. The Rockets, they are coming off of a win there over Ohio, 101-85, so very solid stuff. This team can still get up and down, still put up a lot of points. Sonny Wilson leads the way for them, nearly 18 points per game, shooting 50% from the field, and he's dishing out 4.5 assists. Very good numbers there. Also, Sean Craig, 13 points, 52% from the field is very respectable. They're not a great rebounding team. I do like their offense, though. They can get out and run. They can do a lot of good stuff. The defense isn't necessarily always there, so I do worry a little bit about this squad, especially going on the road. Although their last road game, they took care of business at Northern Illinois. Albeit Northern Illinois sucks, so we'll see what they can do here at Kent State. The Golden Flashes have been very good. They're 13-4 overall. They're 4-1 in conference play. They're coming off a nice win at Buffalo, won that one 87-81, so very good work there. The game before that, they did lose at Central Michigan, which Central Michigan is not very good. So that was definitely a bad loss, but we like what Gillespie's given them. 20 points per game, 57% from the field. Very good. They're 17th in the nation in total points per game, which is crazy to me. Their rebounding numbers are off the charts. Their defense is also a little bit subpar, so that does explain some of this very high total to me. I mean, Kent State, they're 4.5 point favorites. We've got a total of 171.5. Toledo, they're 6-8-1 against the spread this year. They are 9-6 to the under, which is a bit surprising. Kent State, guys, they're 7-8 against the spread. They are 11-4 to the over. I'm not going to take over 71.5 in this game. That is an awful lot of points, but I will take Kent State here playing at home. I do like a lot of what Toledo does, but I just think Kent State does what Toledo does, but does it quite a bit better. Gillespie's going to be the best player on the floor in this game pretty easily, I think, and I think that's going to lead to the Golden Flashes probably winning this one by close to double digits. Next up, guys, we've got a big name matchup there in the Big 12. We got the Baylor Bears going on the road to take on the Kansas Jayhawks. Baylor, they're 11-5 on the season. They're coming off a big win at Oklahoma State, though. Played really well. Got the 94-79 win, so kind of a comfortable win. Snapped a 3-game losing streak, but losing at TCU, losing to Iowa State, and then losing to Houston. You're kind of going to lose those games if you're Baylor. Like, Baylor's not that good this season. They're decent. Cameron Carr is a very solid guard. I mean, 20 points on 55% from the field is excellent. They're 20th in the nation in points per game, 43rd in total rebounding. All their season-long numbers look good, but as soon as they play an actual good team, that just seems to dry up pretty aggressively. I mean, congrats, you hung 113 points in Alcorn State. Well, when you played at TCU, you only scored 63. So we'll see what they can do. The biggest win they probably had this season is taking down Washington or Creighton. And those are not exactly amazing wins. So going to Kansas taking the Jayhawks is a tall task. Kansas is 12-5 on the season. They're coming off a huge 84-63 win there over Iowa State, proving once more that playing at Kansas is just one of the toughest situations in the world. They needed that bounce back after losing at West Virginia. I don't think this Kansas team is crazy elite, but I mean, they took down Iowa State. That home court advantage definitely means something. Trey White is a monster. Obviously, there's a ton of talent on this roster. Their defense is very good. Their rebounding is reasonable as well. So I'm not shocked to see them as significant favorites here. They're 7.5-point favorites at home. We got a total of 155.5. Baylor is 7-8 against the spread, 9-6 to the over. Kansas is 10-7 against the spread, 11-6 to the under. I'm not really super, looking to get super involved in the total in this game. It just doesn't really seem like there's that much value to be had on either side. I do think Kansas will inflict more of their pace in this one, but if we see a slower paced game, I definitely expect it to be close. Kansas is also in a just huge letdown spot, so maybe the Jayhawks end up winning this game in the end, but I think it'll be very close. Give me Baylor and the points in this one with the Jayhawks in a huge letdown spot. Rolling right along, we've got the Loyola Ramblers heading to Dayton to take on the Flyers out there in the A-10. Now, Loyola Chicago, they're 5-13 on the year. This is not a great team. They're coming off an 82-74 loss against George Mason, and they played that one at home. They got obliterated at George Washington. They lost to Davidson. They've already lost to Dayton once this year, but it was a very, very close game. They kept it to 2 points. That was a home game for the Ramblers. We'll see if they can replicate any of that. This team definitely lacks a bit of a scoring punch. They are 386th in the nation in points per game. Their defense is not great. Their rebounding is pretty suspect. I mean, in that game against Dayton, they did manage to keep it close, jumped out to a first half lead and played okay before eventually giving it up, but they shot 30% from three. That's not crazy. They crushed Dayton on the boards, though. Can they do that again? We'll have to wait and see, guys. Dayton, they come into this one 13-4 on the season. They're 4-0 in the A-10. They're coming off a nice win at Duquesne, winning that one 71-65. And now they get to play this one at home. They beat George Washington 79-72 the last time they played at home. It's definitely a big revenge spot for them. Well, not a huge revenge spot. They did beat Loyola Chicago the last time they played, but it was a game that was competitive. They probably don't feel like it should have been. The problem for Dayton is they just suck on the boards. They're not a very good rebounding team. 401st in the nation in rebounds per game. That is nuts. So we'll see what they can do here at home. The odds makers love them. Dayton, they are 17.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 142.5 in this game. Loyola Chicago is 5-13 against the spread this year. Yikes. They are 10-8 to the over. Dayton is 8-9 against the spread. They are 11-6 to the under. Guys, this doesn't feel great, but this just feels like too many points to me. Like, doesn't it feel like way too many points to you? It's not a major look-ahead spot, I don't believe, for Loyola Chicago. Yeah, they've got, St. Bonaventure on deck. I don't think that's going to throw them off. So I will be taking Loyola Chicago getting those 17.5 points just based on their history in this matchup, but I do not trust this anywhere close to enough to put it in the pinned comment. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Marquette Golden Eagles going on the road to take on the DePaul Blue Demons. Now, Marquette, they're 6-12 on the season. They're 1-6 in conference play. This is not a good look. This program has really fallen apart. They're coming off a 92-68 loss at St. John's their last time out, and now they got to head to DePaul, who's been headed in the right direction for sure. This team sucks on the boards. They suck defensively. They're not very good offensively either. Chase Ross is leading the team with 16 points per game, shooting 40% from the field. I just don't have anything good to say about this Marquette team. They've been terrible this year. They're going on the road to take on DePaul. The Blue Demons are heading in the right direction. Now, they're only 2-4 in conference play, so let's not get too overexcited. They're coming off a real game there at number 4 UConn, though. Ended up losing 72-60, but they were competitive. They played a very nice game to beat Georgetown in a rock fight. They beat Xavier pretty handily. They lost a 5-point game at Villanova that could have went either direction. They did struggle the first time they played UConn. They did struggle against St. John's as well, but they've got wins over Wichita State. They've done some good stuff this year. I'm impressed with the direction this program is taking. They are not a great offensive team. Their defensive numbers are very, very good, though, so we like to see that. The rebounding is a little bit suspect, but hey, so is the rebounding of Marquette. So looking at the numbers, guys, DePaul, they're 3.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 142.5. Marquette is only 4-13-1 against the spread this year. They are 9-9 to the over/under. DePaul's 11-5-1 against the spread, and they are 12-5 to the under. You could definitely talk me into under 142.5 in this game. I don't think we're going to see a crazy amount of offense at all, but better than that, I'll take DePaul to get the winning cover. They only got to win by 4. I think they do that the vast majority of the time in this matchup, especially playing at home. There's got to be a good amount of hype around this program right now. I think they're going to pack the house, and I think the environment will definitely be in DePaul's favor, so give me the Blue Demons here playing at home. cruising through these games, guys, and into our last two of the night, we've got the Ohio Bobcats heading to Ball State to take on the Cardinals. Now, Ohio, they are 10-8 on the season. They're coming off a tough loss there at Toledo. Kind of got blown out, losing that one 101 to 85. That's going to happen to you occasionally there. Toledo, they can get after it. The offensive numbers for the Bobcats here are not terrible. Their rebounding is a little bit suspect. Their defense isn't great, but they've got wins over Buffalo, UMass, Eastern Michigan, and Central Michigan here recently. Played a very tight game there against Bowling Green that could have went either way. They beat Marshall this season. They destroyed Maine. Obviously, they got off to a rough start to the year, but this isn't a team that's designed to compete with squads like Louisville or, teams like that. That's going to be kind of a big ask. So we'll see what they can do here. They're going on the road to take on one of the worst teams in college basketball. The Ball State Cardinals are 0-5 in conference play. They're 4-13 overall, and at least one of those wins, maybe two, were against non-Division I opponents. They're coming off an 87-77 loss there at Akron, which honestly they kept more competitive than I would have guessed, but they're 450th in the nation in total rebounding. Their offensive numbers, they're around 400th in the nation as well. They don't have a go-to leading scorer. This team is just flat out terrible, which I'm kind of surprised. Maybe this is a bit of a trap, although we thought we were getting trapped in the Oakland and Green Bay games yesterday. Ball State's only getting 3.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 147.5. Ohio, they're 7-9 against the spread, 9-7 to the over. Ball State, they are 6-9 against the spread, 9-6 to the under. Guys, I'll take Ohio. I don't know why we'd be messing around with this. Why, if you got some sort of secret information I don't know about why Ball State's suddenly going to play like a good basketball team in this one, please let me know down in the comments. But I will definitely be on Ohio, the Ohio Bobcats in this game to win by at least 4. I think they're by far the better team, and Ball State is awful. Last but not least here, guys, we're headed out to the Mountain West. We got the Colorado State Rams headed to Boise State to take on the Broncos. Now, the Rams, they're actually 11-6 on the year. They're only 2-4 in Mountain West play, so that's obviously not what they were hoping for. They're coming off a 79-69 loss at Fresno State, which we were on Fresno State in that game, so we were pretty happy to see it go that way, but it wasn't the Rams' best showing. They're not, like a juggernaut. They're a very, very weak rebounding team, which I believe that did come back to bite them in that game. Well, not in a huge way, honestly, but they just did not play great. Shot only 28% from 3, and not an amazing game. And really, this team isn't an amazing team either. They've beat some terrible teams in the non-conference, but really, where are their premium wins? They beat Colorado, I guess. Does that qualify as a premium win? I don't really think so. So they lack a go-to leading scorer, so they could be in trouble here heading to Boise State. Although the Broncos haven't been great either. They're 1-5 in conference play. They've lost 4 in a row. Their last game was an 89-85 loss at UNLV. Obviously, that's a bit of a tough one. Their season-long numbers look much better. They're a decent team on the boards. They're okay-ish defensively, but really have struggled against, UNLV, Utah State, Grand Canyon, San Diego State. They beat New Mexico, but they lost at Nevada in a blowout, so we'll see what Boise State can really put together in this one. They are 5.5-point favorites here at home, and they do have a nice home court advantage. We've got a total of 141.5. Colorado State, they are 10-6 against the spread, 9-7 to the over. Boise State, they're 8-7 against the spread, 10-5 to the under. This game, I guess I'll take Colorado State getting 5.5, but they're playing in a pretty tough environment. So this one, I'm not going to get super involved in. I just don't trust the Rams that much, but also Boise State has been pretty bad. So give me a slight lean towards the underdog, and let's wrap it up. Guys, that's all the games we have out here for today on a nice, busy little Friday. Hit that like button for me as a big thank you for making these videos. It really, really helps get them promoted out there and just helps me see that people are enjoying the content. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Check down below, and if you do subscribe, you're a new subscriber, make sure you let me know down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to welcome you into the fold, into the team, into whatever it is we are building here, guys. Definitely get down there in the pinned comments. Check out everything over there. Get over to stumpthespread.com and get in on those red-hot premium picks, guys. Those are kind of going nuts right now. It's a great time to get on board with so many sports going on. Also, check out all the free stuff over there, free picks tab, free email newsletter. And guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.